Kuhei is your average pampered loser struggling to settle in due to his parents' work. After transferring to a new school, Kuhei tries to bag a hot blondie, but turns out she is actually a powerful vampire. With her secret out, Erika decides to make Kuhei her pet and suck him dry. However, before any of this, Kuhei is riding a train and thinking about how he is like a migratory bird, considering how he keeps on changing schools because of his parents. This is the reason he tries not to get involved with people, and for now, he decides to focus on the new school at Xiaomi City. After stepping into school, he comes across a girl. She introduces herself as Erika, the vice president of the student council. She officially welcomes him to Shuchikan Academy, but just when she is about to shake his hands, Erika freaks out and falls onto the ground. Just then, another student named Tsukasa arrives, and Erika asks him to give Kuhei a tour of the school. Tsukasa asks Kuhei if he did some freaky stuff with Erika, but Kuhei reassures him that he didn't. Meanwhile, Erika is flustered and wonders why she feels like this. On the other hand, Tsukasa gives Kuhei a tour and gets to know how he kept changing schools because of his parents. The two of them then arrive at the dormitory where Kuhei will be staying, warning him not to go into the girls' section of the dorm. Suddenly, some potato chips fall on Kuhei along with a girl. This results in him passing out until Kuhei notices a shorty sitting on top of him, trying to wake him up. Ultimately, Tsukasa calls out his name, making the girls remember who he was as they inform Kuhei that the three of them used to play while they were kids. Kuhei tells Tsukasa that Kanade and Haruna are his childhood friends from the time when he used to live in Shinomi City. Kanade starts threatening him about how she would have thrown him in the ocean if he forgot about her, and Haruna advises her to say something nice to him instead. Afterward, she offers him one of the potato chip bags as an apology. Elsewhere, Erika informs the student council president, Iori, about what happened this morning and comments on how Kuhei might not be a merry friend to her. At night, the girls are reminiscing about their past with Kuhei while he and Tsukasa are hanging out in Tsukasa's room. Kuhei tells Tsukasa that he is not sure if he could have fun, but is confident that he can find the things he has been missing so far. The next day, Tsukasa and Kuhei are enjoying lunch when Haruna and Kanade join them. Haruna informs Kuhei how the girls often have tea parties, and Kanade plans to do it in Kuhei's room next time. He then finds out how the student council found an amazing chef for their school, making Kuhei wonder why that hottie hesitated to shake his hands. Later, Kanade gives Kuhei a book with information regarding everything that can be found in the academy. She asks him to visit all the places mentioned in the book and take pictures. With that being said, he goes out to take some pictures when he comes across a girl trying to catch her rabbit. Luckily, Kuhei manages to catch it for her, and the girl named Shiro thanks him for the help. Shiro then informs him that she is wearing the uniform of the Laurel Ring, which is a council that helps maintain the chapel. Soon after, a sister who works at the chapel arrives and introduces herself as Ame, offering him counseling sessions if he ever needs any. Following that, Shiro takes him to his next location, which is the directing student building that is used by the student council. Just when he is about to take a picture, Shiro's older brother arrives and starts asking Kuhei various questions. Shiro explains the situation and he asks Shiro to go away, telling Kuhei that he should leave as well. Just then, Iori walks out of the building and starts messing around with Kuhei, asking him to stop by for tea. Kuhei eventually agrees and Iori takes him to the student council room. Seeing Kuhei, Erika freaks out and starts questioning Iori, but ends up leaving the room. Iori apologizes for his little sister's behavior, and Shiro's brother also introduces himself as Seikaru, the treasurer of the student council. With that being said, Iori asks if Kuhei is aware of something called love at first sight and elaborates that Erika most likely fell in love with him. At night, Kuhei visits the bathhouse and notices Erika standing in front of him, which makes him comment on her big talents. She slowly walks towards Kuhei and lands a slap on his face. Later, Tsukasa along with Kanade and Haruna finds out about the incident, and Kuhei mentions how the curtains were reversed when he went into the bathhouse. This makes Tsukasa comment on how Iori was talking about something related to the curtains. While the four of them are discussing this matter, Erika starts eavesdropping. Kanade lets Kuhei know that the president likes playing pranks like this, and Kuhei replies that something like this isn't funny as it makes Erika the victim. He decides to apologize to Erika and she ends up hearing it all. Following that, Tsukasa and Kuhei are on their way back when Erika walks past Kuhei, asking him to meet her at Hisaka Zilkova tomorrow. Tsukasa tells Kuhei that it is a tree that is said to contain the soul of a girl and grants any wish, making it a popular confession spot. The next day, Kuhei is busy taking pictures of the school spots when he enters the chapel and notices a vampire sucking blood from a girl. The next day, Kuhei tells Tsukasa that he accidentally stood Erika up and now has to apologize to her about it. Meanwhile, everyone is gathered in the auditorium for the entrance ceremony when Iori appears on stage, making Kuhei think that he might be the vampire. Iori starts commenting on how this is his last year in the school, and wants to make sure that it is the best. He then asks for everyone's help to make sure that it's the best year of their lives and leaves the stage. Afterward, Erica appears on the stage and starts her speech, making everyone think about their hands and asking them to hold hands with someone close to them if they ever find themselves in trouble. She then shifts her focus to Kuhei and starts insulting him for walking in the girls' bathroom. Later in class, all the boys start making fun of him for what he did when a girl named Kiriha enters the classroom and Kuhei sits behind her after introducing himself. After class, they notice how famous Kuhei has become because of what he did, making him decide to meet Erica at once. He tries to talk to her in class and even tries to visit the student council building but fails. Later, he talks to Haruna about how hard it is to talk to her and she reassures him that they will eventually run into each other. Soon after, he notices Erica walking by and tries to run after her but bumps into Kiriha, who is carrying student notebooks. He apologizes for bumping into her and helps gather the notebook, later offering to share the load. At night, Kuhei finally returns back to his dorm and notices Kanade auctioning the things that last year's graduates left behind. She starts off by showing everyone a stuffed toy, asking 5,000 yen for it and lying about how awesome it is. She eventually manages to sell it for 8,000 yen and then tries selling an exclusive magazine but is interrupted when Ame arrives and confronts Kanade for what she is doing, prompting Kanade to apologize for her actions. Luckily, everyone manages to run away while Kuhei returns to his room in order to unpack his stuff. Suddenly, Kanade jumps from the upper floor to his balcony, letting him know that they will be having a tea party in his room. Soon after, Haruna also arrives and the tea party officially commences. Kuhei tells Kanade that he got all the pictures and takes out the camera, handing over the SSD card to Kanade, who is overjoyed as now she can make the pamphlet for new students. Kuhei is a little disappointed after knowing that she made him work for her own benefit. Kanade then comments that Kuhei's room lacks the basic resources needed to host a proper tea party, making him realize that Kanade was thinking of making his room a regular tea party spot. Nonetheless, Haruna offers him some Darjeeling tea, which he ends up loving. The next day, Shiro is searching for her bunny but soon realizes that he escaped. Meanwhile, all the other students along with Kuhei are looking at the mock exam results. Haruna also arrives and after looking at her results, she tells Kuhei about how high Erica ranks but seems disappointed that she lost to Kiriha again in math and ranked second. In class, Kuhei notices the bunny running wild and later asks Shiro about it, who is in tears. Suddenly, Seikairo arrives and questions Kuhei for making Shiro cry but she clears up the misunderstanding and Kuhei goes out to look for it. He starts by asking his friends while Seikairo informs Iori and Erica about it as well, asking for their help. Kuhei then asks Kiriha about the bunny and she replies that nothing good ever comes from involving oneself with others. However, Kuhei calls her a loner and runs away.
Emotional damage!
While the others are trying their best to find the bunny, Kuhei notices Erica and tries to walk towards her. Suddenly, a rogue soccer ball heads straight out towards the bunny and Erica uses her powers to try and stop the ball but Kuhei makes a dive and manages to save the bunny. He then asks Bunny to not make so much trouble when Erica arrives and lends her hand. But she feels that sensation once again and starts making excuses when Iori reveals himself, not surprised about Erica being startled like that. Iori then tells Kuhei about the wound on his hand, making him remember the vampire he saw earlier. He tries to wipe off the blood but Kuhei takes his hands away. Just then, Shiro and Seikairo arrive and she hugs the bunny. Shiro then thanks Kuhei for finding the bunny and everyone else who helped out as well. Later that day, Kuhei thinks about how he couldn't apologize to Erica again. Unexpectedly, Erica appears right in front of him and he apologizes while she thanks him. Kuhei elaborates that he is sorry about the bathroom incident and how he stood her up. Luckily, she forgives him and asks Kuhei if he saw her hot plot, making him apologize once again. Erica also mentions how she went a little too far at the opening ceremony and puts forward her hand to call things even. She welcomes him to the academy once again and this time, the two of them manage to shake hands like normal people. Elsewhere, Iori receives test results from the handkerchief he gave to Kuhei, making him realize that Kuhei is not a normal boy. The next day, Kanade informs Erica about the tea party and invites her, who asks if it is okay for her to invite Shiro as well. The other boys are jealous of Kuhei getting so close to Erica that quickly. Tsukasa mentions that they are attracting a lot of attention and Kanade replies that it is unusual for the victim and the offender to be walking together. Suddenly, Iori arrives and starts joking around, making Erica mad as she leaves. Iori comments on how Kuhei's neck looks really tasty, causing Kuhei to be creeped out by the freaky president. After class, all four of them are having lunch together and Haruna advises Kuhei to not eat the same food every day and offers to share some of her salad. Meanwhile, Kiriya puts a ton of spice in her noodles and accidentally The lid opens, which makes all the spice fall in her food. Kanade is curious about how she will overcome this trail, and Haruna says that it's best to exchange food, but Kira starts eating it anyway. At night, Kanade is watching a TV show and invites Kuhei to watch it with her. She starts singing the opening theme, making Kuhei laugh at her and commenting on how Kanade's hobbies are too niche, considering the strange oily muscle head characters she used to like. Just then, Haruna arrives and the two of them stop talking about anime and start singing the song. Later that day, Erika and Shiro arrive at Kuhei's room and mention how they imagine a boy's room to be more cluttered. Erika gives him the idea of decorating a bit and Shiro suggests adding some flowers, which he refuses. Erika begins helping Haruna out and later enjoys the tea party with the other students. Kanade interrupts the tea party and invites everyone to go downtown tomorrow. The following day, they all go out and Kanade tries fixing Kuhei's bed hair but ends up making it worse, while Erika compliments the fragrance that Haruna is using and suggests visiting the fragrance shop along the beach. They all enjoy visiting different sorts of shops and eventually visit the ocean, where Erika tells Kuhei that it was a really fun day. Kuhei replies by saying that he is glad that he came to this island. Erika also agrees and decides to make a lot of fun memories together, but suddenly, she asks Kuhei to be wary of her brother. The next morning, Kuhei arrives at the school and runs into Iori. He starts messing with Kuhei once again, making him ignore the president until he asks Kuhei to visit the student council office after school. With that being said, Kuhei visits the office where Iori informs him that he wants to play a game with Kuhei. Just then, Shiro brings some tea for them, but Seikaru asks her to go and complete her duties instead. Nonetheless, they start the game and the first card Iori picks tells him to invite someone for tea. He then tells Kuhei that they have to do whatever the card asks them to, as these are the rules of this game. Afterward, Kuhei picks a card that tells him to accept the reality of what is about to take place. Iori picks a card that tells him to stab the blade of truth in his own hands. Having no other choice, Iori goes to his table and picks up a knife, stabbing himself, making Kuhei freaked out, but Iori mentions how whatever the card says is law. Surprisingly, the wound heals in a second, making Kuhei even more confused. Iori then comments on how Kuhei's neck looks delicious, which makes Kuhei remember the vampire he saw earlier. Luckily, Iori tells Kuhei that he has no intention of feeding on his blood and confesses that he is a vampire. At the same time, Erika arrives and informs Kuhei that she is a vampire as well. Following that, Iori asks Kuhei to accept this reality and comments on how he can't just leave after getting to know about their secret. Iori wants Kuhei to be a part of the student council and threatens to erase his memories if he refuses, just like he did to that girl the other day. Erasing his memories means he will forget everything that happened since he transferred, and it will be as if he just transferred. Kuhei thinks about how it has always been like this for him, and by doing that, he could get out of this crazy reality. Surprisingly, Kuhei agrees to get his memories erased and Iori leaves everything in Erika's hand, commenting on how Kuhei wishes to remain a bystander for the rest of his life. Lastly, he tells Kuhei that only those with a will can enjoy their time at the school. Later that day, Erika asks Kuhei one last time if he wishes to change his mind, but he refuses. With that being said, she uses her vampire abilities and puts her hand on Kuhei's face, but ends up crying after entering his mind and seeing all the freaky kinky videos he used to watch. Erika then comments on how it hurts to see a friend who doesn't mind forgetting everything that happened at school and all the memories that were made. She asks if it is something Kuhei can let go of so easily. On the other hand, both Kanade and Haruna are waiting for Kuhei's return, while Iori and others are at the chapel where he has high hopes for Kuhei. He starts thinking to himself if he wants to start from zero and remembers how he had made up his mind to start enjoying life, connecting with people and laughing from the bottom of his heart. Eventually, Kuhei apologizes to Erika and mentions how he wants to get rid of transferring schools that often. At night, he goes back to the office and asks Iori to let him join the student council, to which he instantly agrees. Kuhei wakes up and goes to school, thinking about how his life has changed due to the choice he made in order to make new memories. Just then, Erika arrives and after greeting each other, they visit the student council office. Iori starts off by explaining the vampires and asks Kuhei to remove all the stereotypical images he has in his mind. Shiro then brings some tea for them and Iori mentions how Shiro and Seikaru already knew the vampire's secret. Later, he tells Kuhei about the characteristics of a vampire, including high physical capability, resistance to illness, and immortality. This means they don't pass away due to old age, and Erika adds that they are not repulsed by garlic or turn into ash under sunlight. Furthermore, they are capable of removing memories and craving blood, which they get by taking the blood set aside for transfusion. With that being said, the vampire crash course ends and Iori asks Kuhei to take care of Erika. This results in Erika punching Iori, but he recovers quickly and gives Kuhei his first task as a student council member. Apparently, He will be the lead organizer of the sports festival, and everyone starts complaining as they wanted Iori to be the lead instead. Iori tells Kuhei that it's better to take on a role in order to learn the basic responsibilities of the student council. He then leaves Kuhei in front of the whole classroom, and he starts off by introducing himself and comments on how he would like to hear the input of students as well. Kuhei further adds that he has seen many different sorts of sports festivals and hopes to plan a festival that is fun for everyone. Iori starts clapping, which makes all the other classmates clap for Kuhei as well. Later at the office, Iori tells Erika that for his first time, Kuhei did pretty well, but there is still a lot for him to take care of. He then advises her not to help Kuhei, as pampering Kuhei might not be good for him. Soon after, Shiro brings him some tea and mentions how hard Kuhei is working, to which Erika replies that it is expected from him as a member of the student council. Later that day, Kanade along with Haruna and Tsukasa enter his room and are surprised to know that he joined the student council. Haruna is amazed that he got to work as a lead from the get-go, but Kuhei is still anxious about the amount of work he has to do. Kuhei then starts wondering if he is fit for the job, and Kanade starts encouraging him and reminds him of the time when he tried to see how far he could go without holding the handle of his cycle. Even though it might be reckless, it is important to have a challenging mind, as a new record may be born from that. Sometime after, Haruna also wishes Kuhei the best of luck and offers to help if things get tough for him. The next day, Erika finds a ton of papers on Kuhei's desk, and he comments on how it is important to familiarize himself with past sports festival. Erika is happy to see him work hard, and Shiro tries to help, but her brother asks her to make some tea instead. Nonetheless, Erika decides to help Kuhei and goes to the storage room. While looking for the record, she accidentally slips and falls on top of Kuhei, forcing his rocket to launch.
Yes! 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 Yes!
The two of them start looking at the past sports festival pictures, and Erika comments on how he would like to make sure that the students keep on smiling and enjoy this event like they did in the past. The next day, Kuhei wakes up and starts working hard. He does everything from solving fights to decorating the required stuff. At the office, Shiro mentions that Kuhei has become famous and people call him the lead organizer who seems proactive. Iori adds that he just wants everyone to have a good time and sarcastically wonders who he picked that from. During lunch, Kuhei tells Kanade and Haruna that almost everything is complete and he wants to make the event as fun as possible. Kanade gives her the idea of adding an electro bomb game, but he ignores her and asks Haruna instead. However, Haruna gives Kuhei some of the tea she made, which he seems to love. Later that day, Shiro notices Kuhei asking the class about adding sponsors to the sports festival. They will provide some gifts for the academy, and this way, the festival will be even more interesting. Unfortunately, the students are kind of anxious about doing something that has never been done before. Nonetheless, Kuhei decides to ask the local shops to sponsor them, and Shiro decides to help him out. They visit many shops and most of them agree to sponsor the event. Eventually, they arrive at a bakery and the owner seems to know Shiro and agrees. After finishing up their work, Kuhei thanked Shiro for all the help. She then tells Kuhei that the shopkeepers know her because her family is rather important on the island, which is why she is raised pretty strictly by her brother. Shiro then adds the fact that she is completely different from Kuhei, as she has never left the island. This makes Kuhei plan an outing, as he wants to thank Shiro for helping him out. Back at the office, Erika wonders if Kuhei is still working hard and goes out and notices him hammering some nails. Soon after, some other students join him as well, and Shiro also arrives. She comments on how hard he is working, and Erika replies that it is expected. All of those students then carry the main festival gate they were building and work together to put it up. At the same time, Iori mentions that he hasn't seen Erika this happy in a while and says that Kuhei was the right choice. It is finally the day of the sports festival, and just when Kuhei is about to give his speech, Iori calls him Mr. Women's Bath, making everyone laugh. After the speech, the sports festival commences and Kuhei praises Kiria for coming second place in a race, to which she replies that she wasn't even serious. This reminds Kuhei how Kiria always intentionally stops herself from doing her best. For the next race, Kanade announces that Kuhei will be the commentator, making him surprised. The two of them then start fighting while the mic is on, and he asks her to shut it off first. Nonetheless, Kuhei agrees to be the commentator and makes everyone laugh by measuring the distance between contenders using a horse body. However, this makes Erika furious as she slams Kuhei right after her race. The rest of the events and races also take place without any problems, and finally, it is break time. Haruna brings some lunch for everyone, and they all are surprised after finding out that she made all that. With that being said, everyone takes a bite and compliments how delicious it is. Apparently, she made a special dish for Kuhei as well, making Kanade call him a She further mentions how Kuhei will be running a 3-leg race with Haruna, letting him know that Haruna is her bride and he is not allowed to take her away. Erika then mentions the new event called the water balloon toss that Kuhei came up with. However, Kuhei replies that Kanade and Haruna also helped him with that part, but sadly, he can't participate in the event he came up with. Just then, Kiriha notices them eating together and mentions how they are indulging in their own sacrifice, making Erika confront her about it. Kuhei dismisses it, saying that he was showing off a little too much, which results in Kiriha walking away. Later, Kiriha is hanging out with a cat when Kuhei arrives and informs her about the beginning of afternoon events. But Kiriha replies that all the events she was supposed to participate in are over. This makes Kuhei comment on how he thought Kiriha wouldn't participate in the event, but she still did and looked bored, sitting apart from their classmate. But Kiriha replies that she is not skipping class based on how entertaining it is. Just when Kuhei is about to reply, the announcement is made and he is forced to go away, but before he leaves, he advises Kiriha to have as much fun as possible. Finally, it is time for the balloon toss event and all the contestants start playing. Meanwhile, some students apologize to Kuhei for giving away presents without checking the inventory, which resulted in them not having much left. This reminds Kuhei of the time when he and Kanade wanted to give Haruna a gift for her present but were low on cash. But he got an idea and gave her a coupon for anything she wanted. He applies this at the sports festival and plans on giving the winner some vouchers so they can claim the gift later. He asks the students to make some vouchers while he goes to ask for more presents. With that being said, Kuhei along with some students asks the shopkeepers for some more prizes and luckily, they all agree. On the other hand, Shiro gets hit by several balloons but Seikaru comes in front of her and protects his little sister. Kanade's shirt gets wet and everyone can see through, but she is okay because of the swimsuit she is wearing. But it is enough for the boys to get climax, which results in Kanade getting flustered. Kiriha also goes to check out the competition and Haruna, who is carrying tons of balloons, falls on the ground. Eventually, the competition ends and now it is time for the three-leg race. Because she fell, Haruna can't compete anymore and apologizes to Kuhei for ruining their race. No other girl seems comfortable to race with a creepy loser like Kuhei, but he notices Kiriha and asks her to become his partner. Haruna also requests her to partner with him, commenting on how she is unbeatable if she gives it her best. Everyone starts agreeing with what Haruna said and Kiriha eventually agrees. Following that, Haruna ties Kiriha's hair and compliments them, mentioning how she wanted to chat with her and how they might even become good friends. Finally, the three-leg race starts and Erika remains at first while Kiriha is at second. Soon after, a part of the race arrives where the girl has to change her clothes and Kiriha ends up being dressed as a cat girl maid. This makes the crowd go wild and makes Iori satisfied with how happy everyone looks. Furthermore, Erika ends up dressing up as a character called Nupio but fails to control the costume and falls on the ground. Nonetheless, Kuhei holds Kiriha's hand and crosses the finish line. Afterward, the sports festival comes to its conclusion, and everyone praises Kuhei for securing first place. He notices that Kiriha is not present anymore and Kuhei goes to Iori, thanking him for heckling him during the oath. Iori then gives him a key as a present for his hard work, telling him that it is of his room, but Erika corrects that it is a key to the governing student's room. Just then, the other students arrive and take Kuhei to the after party they had arranged. While walking away, Kuhei tells Erika that things are pretty good this way as well. Haruna is putting up a poster and tells Kuhei that it is about Community Service Month. Later, Iori tells them that the student council will be participating as well and Kuhei also decides to help out as well. He then notices that all the poster work is on Haruna as she lost the rock, paper, scissors match. Kuhei unknowingly makes fun of Haruna and asks her to grab some ramen for lunch together. Meanwhile, Kanade stalks them and comments on how Haruna is surely in love with Kuhei but is not sure if Kuhei feels the same. At night, Haruna reads some old letters and thinks if Kuhei is still troubled by them. At the same time, Kuhei is reminiscing about the past when he is about to leave the island and Haruna tells him how they will stay friends even if they live far from each other. He then starts reading the letters that Haruna sent him all those years while Kanade peeks through his window, seeing him read all those letters. He then reads the letter about when Haruna got in an accident and notices Kanade stalking him. He eventually catches her red-handed and brings her back to Haruna, informing her about what she has been doing. Kanade says in her defense that she was only curious about what Kuhei usually does. Nonetheless, she manages to run away and Kuhei comments on how it must be hard for Haruna to take care of her. The next day, Kanade reassures him that she repented for what she did and gives him a mushroom as an apology. She then calls Haruna to sit with them and even when she tries to refuse, Kanade forcefully brings her to the table and tells Haruna that she will be willing to help her out. With that being said, Kanade walks away, leaving the two of them behind. At night, all of them are having a tea party and Kanade pours some tea for Kuhei and Kanade tackles Tsukasa when he tries to ask for some as well. She then goes on teasing Kuhei and Haruna about how they will be getting married, making them uncomfortable. The next morning, Haruna mentions how Kanade has been acting weirdly and she thinks Kanade is trying to act as a wingman. Just then, an announcement related to the community service is made by Iori, and Haruna goes to change her costume for this event. Later, all the girls participating show off their made costumes to those thirsty weebs, making them go crazy. Iori thinks about how he was right to do this and how his idea came from the sports festival. This was his trump card to make everyone like the community service month and something he calls his ultimate weapon. Kuhei also watches and thinks about how he would have objected if he knew about it. Just then, Haruna arrives in a maid costume and Kanade calls Kuhei a lucky dog for getting such a treat. She then forces him to get a picture with Haruna and asks Seikaru to take their picture. However, seeing her act like a wingman makes Haruna angry and asks Kanade if she neglects her feelings in order to worry about her. She further asks Kanade if it is because she got in an accident and lost all her memories. This statement surprises everyone and Haruna runs away. Later that day, Kuhei meets up with Kanade and notices the look on her face, asking if it is related to Haruna. Kanade then apologizes for forgetting that what was between Kuhei and Haruna was mutual, but Kuhei argues that it is not like that and everything is in the past now. Just then, Haruna arrives and hesitates to sit after seeing Kanade, making Kuhei realize that they haven't made up yet. This makes Kanade regret doing something that was so uncalled for and mentions how Haruna was weak from the start and had to pay frequent visits to the hospital. She had a bone marrow transplant done and their mother asked Kanade to take care of her little sister, Haruna. However, the day after the accident, Haruna couldn't remember who Kanade was and asked her various weird questions. In some way, Kanade blames herself for what happened and how Haruna lost all the memories they had during their time together. The letters they had sent each other came to an end as well, and Kuhei replies that Haruna can't do anything about it if she doesn't remember him. Kanade further says that all she wanted to do was make Haruna happy, which is why she puts her ahead of herself. Kuhei understands what she means and replies that Haruna most likely doesn't want that. A few days later, Kuhei accompanies Haruna on a shopping trip and stops by a cafe on their way back. He asks her to forgive Kanade for what she did, but Haruna replies that it's not about forgiving or not forgiving. She also adds that Kanade has started to care for her so much and always prioritized her ahead of herself. Surprisingly, she also mentions that Kanade most likely likes Kuhei as well, which is what makes Haruna even more confused. Haruna is scared that Kanade might be hiding her true feelings and doesn't want to cause any more trouble for her. Hearing her words makes Kuhei decide to go and talk to Kanade so Haruna can convey those feelings directly to Kanade. He then forcefully brings the two of them together and Haruna tells Kanade that she has not been fair. Haruna reveals that she used to be jealous of Kanade while she was admitted to the hospital, but things started getting better after she got well. Haruna thinks that the accident is a punishment for hating Kanade instead of thanking her for all the help. However, Kanade reveals that she saw Haruna as an annoying burden as well because their mom always used to be occupied with taking care of her. She further mentions how their mom entrusted Haruna to her, but she still somehow got into an accident. That was the time when Kanade swore to do everything in order to make her Alzheimer's-struck sister happy. But Haruna argues that she doesn't want Kanade to sacrifice her happiness as she can't be happy until Kanade is as well. The two of them then start crying and give each other a hug. Alzheimer then shows them a letter that Haruna sent to him after losing her memories and mentions how Haruna was most likely taking a step forward and accepting the past as a past. According to him, she must have been trying to make new memories with an honest heart. Kanade then asks Kuhei if he remembers their promise and thinks about when the three of them prayed to the tree, wishing for them to reunite and play together sometime in the future. Surprisingly, a boy confesses his love to Erika and she ends up refusing to go out with him. The boy asks for her reason for turning him down and Erika replies that it is because of a rule. She thinks that loving or dating someone is something solely between humans. Just then, Kuhei arrives and takes out a ladybug from her hair, which she finds to be really cute, but it flies away and Erika comments on how it is better to fly free. Later, Iori mentions how they are working even on Sundays when it is so hot and Kuhei questions him about wanting to turn the first pool day into an event. It has been really hard for him to organize stuff and come up with different ideas. However, Iori completely ignores him and talks about reading horoscopes. Shockingly, Shiro wants him to read hers as well, making Seikaru anxious until she reveals that it must be between her rabbit and her. Iori then wants to read the compatibility between Kuhei and Erika. This results in Kuhei finding out that today is Erika's birthday and questioning how Iori could forget his sister's birthday. But he replies that their family doesn't practice such events as they are immortal. He further reveals that Erika most likely doesn't care about it as well, but Kuhei disagrees. Iori then allows him to leave work for some time and he runs past Erika. She asks about it to Iori, who tells her that Kuhei went to buy something from the shopping district. At the same time, the other girls are busy cleaning the pool along with Iori and Seikaru, who are forced to help out. Kanade yells at the two of them to work hard and stop talking with each other, making Iori do some work and causing the girls to go crazy. Meanwhile, Kuhei and Erika are discussing the pool event and talking about how they need to talk to the teachers and stuff. Kuhei then puts forward an event idea that he came up with, and Erika is surprised that Kuhei managed to do all of it on his own. Just then, a sushi delivery arrived that Kuhei ordered. Turns out it is Tsukasa, and he brought the gift for Erika. Kuhei then gives the present to Erika and asks her to open it. She hesitantly agrees and opens it to find a pretty set of flowers, and Kuhei simultaneously wishes her happy birthday. This reminds Kuhei how the flower shop could only deliver the flowers the next day, but luckily, he ran into Tsukasa. Surprisingly, Erika stays quiet for a while and then comments on how this is her first time receiving something like this, which makes her feel like an ordinary girl. She then wipes off her tears and thanks Kuhei for the present. With that being said, they get back to work. At night, Erika sets the flowers on a table and seems overjoyed when suddenly her heart starts hurting and she begins struggling due to pain. Luckily, it slowly gets better, making Erika breathe heavily. Finally, it is pool opening day and all the girls are changing into their swimsuits. Shiro looks at Erika's talents and compares them with her iron board of a body. However, Kanade reassures that she will become a hottie in no time. She then asks Kiriha why she isn't skipping class, and she replies that it is due to a boy who keeps on nagging her. Outside, the teachers comment on how the pool day was a great idea, while the boys hate the fact that sister is not wearing a swimsuit. Later, Iori starts flexing his muscles and the girls start getting wild after taking a look. However, Erika throws him in the pool, and later, Kanade and Haruna arrive along with some tea that Erika really appreciates. Turns out that Erika and Kuhei can't participate because they are the organizers. Additionally, Haruna reminds Kanade that she is next, and the two of them walk away. Just when Kuhei is about to drink some tea, Erika takes out lunch that she made and the two of them enjoy eating it together. Kuhei notices that the sandwich specifically includes the things he likes but doesn't pay much attention to it. The next event contains a prize of 3 free cafeteria coupons, and the contestants are supposed to protect their hat from judo masters for 5 minutes. Slowly, every girl starts getting her hat taken away until all the judo masters surround Kira. However, she manages to escape by going underwater, and the other person remaining is Shiro, and seeing her surrounded makes Seikaru faint out of anxiety. Shiro starts acting all cute, making the judo masters embarrassed and go away. With that being said, the two of them end up winning the event, and then Iori announces that every student can now take their revenge. This results in them picking up their teacher and the sister and throwing them in the pool. Eventually, the pool event ends, and Kuhei along with Erika is now cleaning things up. Kiriha notices the two of them working together and other girls calling them a couple, making her somewhat enraged. After the two of them are done with the cleanup, Kuhei asks Erika to race him. She agrees, and the two of them take their position and then start racing each other. In the end, Erika manages to win the race and helps Kuhei get out of the water. She accidentally slips, making them get a little too close to each other. Suddenly, Erika feels the same pain in her heart, but when Kuhei touches her, it happens again, which makes her get away from him. Erika comments on how she is getting tired and runs away. Back in her room, Erika starts craving blood and wants to suck Kuhei so badly. Her condition gets so worse that Erika accidentally makes the flower gift fall onto the ground. Erika, in her nightmare, walks desperately until she sees Kuhei wrapped up by an evil vampire wearing a cloak. She then wakes up and gets a memory that she needs blood after staring at the petals flying across her room. Suddenly, Erika gets out of her house when she sees someone standing on the roof. She shouts, which alerts Shizuko, and she runs towards her. The next morning at school, Erika hears some students talking about a vampire, and one of them says to the other that a girl from class 4 got her blood sucked by the vampire. Erika gets scared hearing them talking about it. On the other hand, the boys are also talking about how she said the vampire flew and ran away when her sister came out. The rumor further spreads to the entire school, and everyone keeps on talking about it. Kuhei and the others go to the president's office to tell him about the vampire. The president seems like he can't believe it and tells them if something like that exists, he would love to see it. Seikaru tells him that the rumor is trivial, but students are indeed concerned. Kuhei then says that the president could be the one who was spotted, but the president quickly says he is not stupid enough to appear where there are no ladies. He says it could be Erika, but Erika quickly declines, while Shiro asks her if something is wrong. However, she says she has nothing to do with it. Kuhei, hearing this, makes assumptions that if they both are not, then there are no other vampires on this island. The president tells him either way there are, and there could not be. They get confused hearing that, so the president further says with the rumor so widespread, they must uncover the truth behind it, and he decides to patrol tonight. While getting back from there, they hear people talking about how vampires are soon going to be released as it gets dark. Hearing that, Erika tells Kuhei that being talked about like this makes her pretty restless. The president moves forward, calling her naive to feel stressed over something like this. He further tells them uncovering the truth will end it, and they should always be prepared for it. Later, as they enter one of the rooms, they find Kanade shouting and carrying a cross, telling Haruna not to stop her. Kuhei then asks her what is wrong. Haruna tells him that she is going on a patrol. Upon asking, Haruna tells them that if vampires do anything to Haruna, she won't forgive. Kanade says she got an almighty cross, so there is nothing to be scared about. Kuhei and Erika are speechless seeing her act this way. Suddenly, the president comes forward, telling her she looks well prepared for it. Suddenly, Shizuko starts banging the pan, telling them about the ruckus they are making. She tells Kanade why she is dressed like that since she is a role model for the students. So why is she making a scene? She further says that vampires only exist in fiction. She then tells everyone someone is roaming around the school, and until the case is solved, they are not allowed to go out at night. However, after that, the student council patrol gets on, and Erika and Kuei start patrolling when they expect no one to be around. Erika says that she feels like she is betraying everyone. However, Kuei, after seeing her reaction, says that everyone has a secret or two they can't tell. Erika smiles at him, and then suddenly remembers her nightmare, when Kuei gets a bit worried. And soon after, they meet up with Seikaru and the president. Suddenly the wind gets stronger, and they see a person in a cloak standing on the rooftop. Erika then jumps and comes face to face. As her cloak starts to untie because of the wind, they all can see the person. Erika is shocked to see it is Kiriha. She then starts murmuring that she thought her master might show herself if she caused some commotion. Following that, she tells Erika that she is not her master and runs towards Kuhei and the others. Eventually, she runs away, but Erika follows her. Like Kuhei and Seikaru, Haruna is alone staring out of her window and gets out to check things out. Erika relentlessly pursues Kiriha through the dense jungle. As Kuhei soars higher into the air, Erika, determined not to lose her, uses her powers to leap after her. However, she misses her mark and plummets, landing right behind Haruna, her eyes gleaming red. At that moment, a vivid flashback strikes her. She remembers a time when she was nearly struck by a truck but is saved just in time by Erika. However, back in the present, Erika falls to the ground. Kuhei and the president come to see Erika in the situation. The president, on the other side, tells Erika that ordinary students finding out about them are a matter of life and death. He then asks her if she knows what must be done now. Erika is shocked to hear that, as the president further says that she only has to do the same as she did before. After all, vampires are vampires, and that's the only way to live amongst humans. Erika then goes to where Haruna is lying, in a dark room beside Kuhei. Erika goes closer to her while Kuhei comments on how Haruna wouldn't go spreading the secret and tells her to have faith in her. However, Erika tells him that it wouldn't be the first time she would erase her memories. Something similar happened 6 years ago as well. Haruna gets a flashback where she is almost getting hit by a truck but is saved by Erika. Kuhei starts remembering his memories of her and asks Erika if this is why she couldn't remember anything. Kuhei keeps on insisting that she not erase her memories. Erika gets angry at him and starts using her powers, which causes a shock in the room. She then goes forward to erase her memories. Soon after, Haruna wakes up and, seeing Erika, thanks her for saving her life. Erika gently places her hand on her forehead and erases her memories. Watching this, Kuhei feels a bit of disappointment. Suddenly, Haruna stands up and announces that her memories are returning. Erika, with resolve in her voice, explains that this is the answer she has been searching for and that she no longer wants to deceive her friends. Kiriha, who is still at the cliff, wakes up beside a black cat. However, on the other hand, Erika gets dressed up for school while walking with Kuhei, who tells her that Kanade has been absent from school since that day. He further thinks that the body can't handle the shock of her memories coming back. Kuhei then asks her if it is alright since Haruna says she would explain the situation to Kanade herself. Erika tells him that she can't stop her, even if it destroys her relationship with Kanade. While they are walking, they see Kanade and Haruna standing in their way. Kanade says she hears everything from Haruna. On the side, Kanade goes and hugs Erika, telling her she is grateful for her since she saves Haruna when she gets into an accident. However, Erika tells her that she is not a human, but Kanade says she is Iron, Shuchikan Academy's amazing student council vice president and her precious friend. Erika feels relieved because she thinks she is about to lose an important bond. Suddenly, Kiriha walks behind them and they all seem to be stunned. She then walks inside where the president calls her a black cape and asks if she is searching for her master. She ignores them and goes away. Seikaru asks if he thinks she is dependent. The president replies that she has a horrible taste as always. Later that day, in the president's office, Erika wonders if Kiriha is dependent, then she wonders who her master would be. She then asks the president if he knows something. Meanwhile, Shiro comes with tea when Seikaru tells her that she doesn't need to hear. She then insists, saying she is part of the Togi family as well. The president then tells her that she should stay out of this from here on. However, Kuei enters and tells them that he is late since Tsukasa keeps bugging him to show his homework. Erica tells him that there is just the usual fighting between them, and he doesn't have to worry about it. The president gives punishment of cleaning the bathrooms to Kuhei, but upon realizing it's way too harsh, he assigns him to be the lead organizer of the culture festival along with Erica. Later that night, Erica and the others sit together, when Erica says their school cultural festival is right after summer vacation. So, they decided to start preparing now. Kuhei says that it is pretty hard on them, while Kanade says that the culture festival is the major event at Shuchikan Academy, and they have to make it fun. They all start asking how they can help. The next day, Kiriya sits quietly reading a book beneath a tree when Seikaru approaches her. He mentions he wants to introduce her to someone, and she agrees to accompany him. Meanwhile, Kuhei and Erica are out shopping for supplies. As they browse through the stores, they remember Kanade and the others had asked them to pick up tea supplies as well. Stopping at a local shop, they not only purchase what they need but also ask the shopkeeper to support their upcoming school festival. They then go to get a cake, and the worker tells them that she is glad to help them out. After that, they go to a beach. Erica tells him that everyone has high hopes for the culture festival. Kuhei says that it is going to be the last one for Kanade. As time passes, they start drinking. He says that there is something he wants her to tell him. He then asks her what dependents are. She is shocked to hear all this. He says that ever since Kiriya that night she seems to be distracted by something. He asks her to share it with him, as he doesn't want her to bear everything all alone. The rain starts pouring, and Kiriya on the other side enters a house. Erica tells Kuhei that vampires are those who form a contract with a vampire. She further tells him that dependents are born from drinking a vampire's blood. Like vampires, they do not age, nor do they vanish. Moreover, they have astounding physical abilities, and sometimes they are forced to sleep long against their will, or their batteries might run out. More importantly, when a master and dependent relationship is formed through a contract, the master's orders to the dependent become absolute. Erica further says that Kiriya's master is likely her mother, which Kuhei doesn't seem to understand. Meanwhile, Kiriya goes up to Kaya and slaps her master, calling her crazy as she is getting crazier with every meeting. As Kiriya puts an end to this game and tries to head back, Kaya freezes her and then asks her to show her face. Kiriya, who seems to be in her control, falls to her knees. Kaya then admires her beauty, as no matter how many years pass, she is still the same. Erica explains to Kuhei that she made a promise to her mother when she entered Shuchikan Academy. She must become independent by the time she graduates, or she'll be forced to live with her mother forever. Erica hates this as her mother always disliked her for not acting like a proper vampire. Kuhei tells her that he would be her dependent. She tells him that if he chooses to become a vampire, he would no longer be human. Expressing her fears, she says she wants to live as a human and is terrified that being a dependent would strip her of her humanity. Resolutely, she stands up and declares that she will never drink human blood. Afterward, they begin to head back, with Erica noting that Kanade must be tired of waiting. Meanwhile, at the church, Sendo sits quietly. Amek approaches him, mentioning that it is getting dark. Standing up, his eyes gleaming red, Sendo remarks that what vampires truly desire is the blood of the person they love. As she turns around, he is quiet and goes away. On the other hand, Kuhei says farewell to Erica and goes away. Erica, who is desperately in need of blood, drinks packets of blood in her room, as she gets signals that she wants Kuhei's blood. Everyone has lined up to submit their request form for the upcoming cultural festival. The theater club president shows his form to Erica, requesting a smoke machine, but Erica comments on how the rent might be too high. She gives him the idea of using confetti instead, which he ends up liking. At the same time, Kuhei comments on how there is so much heat coming from all the stinky students gathered outside their office, and Shiro replies that everyone most likely wants to take care of their requests before the weekend. Iori also adds how cultural festivals fill everyone's heart with love, asking Kuhei, the organizer, to work hard. Eventually, everyone was done with work except Iori, who was just chilling while making others work like slaves. He then suggests having a party, but both Kuhei and Erica leave the room. On their way back, Kuhei tells Erica that she shouldn't work so hard, but she reassures him that seeing everyone happy gives her the energy to work. She likes to be connected to everyone as it feels like living as a human. Erica then asks him about the after party and tells him to make sure it is the best one. Back at the dormitory, Erica comes across the black cat and later pays her house a visit. Her mother reveals herself and comments on how Erica seems to be doing well. Erica's mother, Kaya, says that Erica most likely has found a potential dependent and then calls Kuhei's name. Kaya reminds Erica of the promise she made while Kiriya eavesdrops on them from outside. She then asks Erica the reason she hasn't made Kuhei her dependent, and Erica replies that vampires can now supply themselves with blood banks and other alternatives. This is why they don't need dependents, as they can still live with humans without a problem. However, Kaya argues that transfusion blood isn't going to quench Erika's thirst, but Erika reassures that she is willing to endure it no matter how bad it gets, deciding to not live by her mother's command any longer. At the dorm, Iori and Kanade reveal that tomorrow is a holiday for the organizers, and they can play all day long without any worries. Due to this, Kanade has come up with a one-day enjoyment plan. It starts with them going to the beach and then watching fireworks in their yukatas. Kuhei seems to like seeing some baddies in swimsuits, and Erika likes the idea as well. Sadly, Shiro and Seikairu have to practice the dance that is presented to the gods during the autumn festival. Haruna then suggests watching fireworks at the Tamatsu Island shrine so Shiro and Seikairu can participate as well. Kanade thinks of it as a great idea, and Seikairu also allows Shiro to participate after the dance practice. At night, Erika thinks about how she will be fine without having any blood for one day. The next day, Kuei sets up the umbrella while giving side eyes to the hotties when Iori arrives and advises him to enjoy his time at the beach. After doing a bunch of activities together, they start playing volleyball, and with a bit of teamwork, the girls' side absolutely demolishes the boys. After volleyball, everyone decides to eat something, and Kuei touches Erika's shoulder, making her feel pain, which Iori ends up noticing. While everyone is enjoying food, Erika sits alone and wonders if it is starting to affect her already. Just then, Kuhei arrives and gives Erika some water. He then starts talking like a geezer in his last moment does, commenting on how fast time flies. Erika also adds how time passes quickly when they are having fun but seems stuck when they wish for it to end quickly. They further discuss how the cultural festival might be over in a blink, but Erika is sure that the fun memories of it will remain in people's hearts forever. This is the sole reason Erika wants to make sure the cultural festival is the best one yet. Kuei hopes that the cultural festival is enjoyable for Erika as well, which surprises her as this is the first time somebody said this to her. With that being said, the two of them decide to return, and Kuhei lends his hand, but Erika hesitates to hold it due to the pain in her heart. Iori, who was watching them from afar, tells Kuhei that Erika is short on blood and asks him about dependence. However, Kuhei replies that Erika wants to live as a human, and Iori informs him that staying away from blood for a long time makes vampires attacked by strong impulses, and fighting against them is a hellish torture. He then asks about transfusion blood, and Iori mentions how a vampire who wants to live as a human would never bring such a thing in her purse. Furthermore, he comments on how things have already gone too far and hopes that nothing bad happens due to her resisting this much. At night, everyone is walking towards Tamatsu Island Shrine, and Iori informs them that Shiro's family used to be the priests at the shrine, but the ancient duties are still passed down and carried out by their family. At the same time, Kuhei asks Erika if she has been experiencing headaches or chest pains, but Erika dismisses it and thinks about how her impulses have not gone away. They meet up with Shiro and Seikairu at the top of the mountain, and Shiro informs everyone about how Seikairu ended the practice early due to their plans. Soon after, the other girls change into their yukatas as well, and Erika starts feeling the pain once again. She begins panicking, and Kuhei comments on how she looks really pale. As the fireworks start, Kuhei gets scared and holds on to Erika, making her eyes bright red. This results in her running away from everyone, but Kuhei decides to run after her. Erika eventually falls onto the ground, and Kuhei manages to find her, touching her once again. This results in her eyes becoming red, but Erika somehow controls herself and tells Kuhei to get away. However, Kuhei doesn't let go, which makes her eyes red again. He eventually makes up his mind and hugs Erika, allowing her to drink some of his blood with tears in her eyes. The next day, Erika wakes up in her room and thinks that she managed to endure the thirst without drinking any blood. Back at school, Kuhei is busy preparing for the cultural festival, and Iori comments on how Erika looks pretty cheerful. She replies that it might be possible for her to endure Kaya's manipulation, and just then, Kuhei arrives. Just when she is about to help Kuhei, Erika starts feeling the pain inside her chest once again and sits on the floor, remembering what happened last night and how she ended up drinking Kuhei's blood. She then asks Kuhei to stay away from her and thanks him for saving her. The two of them then begin working together, and Shiro looks concerned, but Seikairu comments on how it has nothing to do with her. Iori agrees that this problem is between Kuhei and Erika, and they most probably won't be able to do anything. During lunch break, Kuhei is eating with Tsukasa, still wondering if Erika is alright. Just then, Kanade comes running and sticks a sticker on his forehead, questioning him about leaving her and Haruna behind last night. However, Kuhei reassures them that he is not dating Erika, making them even more curious about what the two of them were doing. Luckily, Kuhei manages to make an excuse about how fireworks gave them a great idea, and Kanade agrees with how pretty folk dance would look like with fireworks. Haruna offers to help Kuhei in any way, but he still can't keep his mind off of Erika. Meanwhile, Erika finds out that transfusion blood is not working anymore, and what she is craving is Kuhei's blood. After the break, Kuhei notices how everyone is working hard, and just when he is about to talk to Erika, some other students ask for his help. Back at the office, Seikaru asks Kuhei to lend him a hand, and he continues on helping everyone else with their work and eventually finishes up at night. Back at home, Kuhei wants to call Erika but decides not to. On the other hand, Erika's craving is getting worse and worse, but just then, Kiria pays her a visit. She informs how Kuhei's blood is special and he is starting to become someone precious to her. She further comments on how drinking his blood once will make her thirst even greater and soon she won't be able to resist it. Kiriha then asks her the reason she hesitates to make Kuhei her dependent when he has already agreed. This makes Erika realize that Kiriha has returned to Kaya's side and conveys a message from Kaya, telling Erika to come home if she doesn't want to take a dependent. Erika argues that she still has time till graduation, and Kiriha replies that if she refuses to take a dependent, then the promise itself is nothing. However, Erika is still stubborn about not wanting to take a dependent, making Kiriha curious about it. This makes Erika comment on how Kaya's toy shouldn't say such things, asking Kiriha the reason she returned to Kaya's side. Her mother will eventually take back her memories and will force Kiriha to find her master without any clue. Kiriha spent centuries finding Kaya, only for her to take the memories away again, making it feel like an endless game. Erika once again asks her the reason, and Kiriha replies by saying that it is what Kaya wishes and she can't disobey her master. Erika tells Kiriha that this is the exact reason she doesn't want to take a dependent, as they will be forced to follow every order that comes from their master. Furthermore, Erika is scared that she might ask Kuhei to do something dark after taking him as a dependent. Even when Kiriha understands her point, she says that it is impossible to fight her fate. The next morning, Kuhei finds Kanade on his balcony with a lot of weather dolls that she made for the cultural festival to go smoothly. Haruna also arrives and mentions how they are having a tea party, asking Kuhei to forgive her older sister. Kanade also agrees and asks to call Erika as well, but Kuhei refuses to disturb that freaky vampire so early in the morning. Haruna then asks Kuhei about the after party, but Kuhei still hasn't come up with any new ideas. The two of them then start discussing how it should be something that they can remember forever, which somehow gives Kuhei an idea. Later, Kuhei visits the student council office, but doesn't find Erika. Iori tells him that she is visiting the shopping district to complete some work. Nonetheless, Kuhei tells them about his idea regarding the after party and how it includes something called parachutes of happiness. He is thinking of launching them with fireworks, and it would be fun if students think that their wish would come true if they found one. Luckily, Shiro likes the idea and is sure that Erika will like it as well. This makes her mention how he hopes for her to have some fun while Erika listens to it while she stays hidden. When Kuhei leaves, Erika gets out of the hiding spot, but just by touching his dairy, Erika's thirst becomes greater. Iori also realizes how things have gone really bad and Erika might dominantly suck Kuhei the next time she sees him. He then starts talking about how Kuhei is a human and will eventually pass away due to old age, resulting in Erika yelling at Iori to shut up. Shiro asks Iori if there is a way to make things normal. He replies that it is possible by replacing the donor. But the problem lies with Erika finding Kuhei's blood special. Shiro then offers Erika to drink her blood and mentions how Kuhei won't have to become dependent if she becomes the donor. Additionally, she asks Erika to make her a dependent, commenting on how it hurts her to see Erika suffer so much. Shiro further adds that it is the duty of her family to serve Erika's family. Hearing this makes Seikaru furious at Iori, but he replies that just like Seikaru cares for Shiro, he cares for his little sister as well. He then uses his vampire powers to make Seikaru let go. Erika finally realizes that Iori knew all this would happen if he brought Kuhei to the student council and reassures Shiro that she won't take away her future. At the same time, Kuhei is testing his parachutes in his room while Kuhei is struggling due to thirst in the dorm hallway. Erika is locked again inside her house by Kaya and remembers Kuhei while Kaya calls Erika a failure who always defies her. Meanwhile, Kuhei gets ready to leave and notices a parachute outside his room. Afterward, he arrives at the office and asks Shiro if Erika wants to tell him something, showing them the parachute he found outside his room. Just when Shiro is about to tell him the truth, Seikaru stops her. Iori then changes the topic and agrees to go with the after-party proposal. When Kuhei asks about Erika, he informs her that Erika is no longer there. This all confuses Kuhei, and Shiro ends up confessing it being her fault as she was the one who asked to become Erika's dependent. Iori then takes Kuhei away and tells him the truth about how Erika went home on her own. Kuhei then mentions how Erika wanted to live like a human being, making Iori mention the time he offered his blood to Erika. Iori finally reveals that drinking blood directly from a human makes the urges even stronger, and once that happens, transfusion blood doesn't have any effect. Even Iori can't comprehend the pain she went through. He further mentions that Erika only hid everything in order to not make Kuhei worry, considering how dense he is. This makes Kuhei remember all the pain Erika went through, and Iori further reveals that she didn't want to take Shiro's future away and ended up making this painful decision. Surprisingly, he tells Kuhei that there is still a way to bring her back to school, and waits for the decision that Kuhei will make. While everyone is busy with the cultural festival preparations, Kuhei keeps on thinking about how Erika didn't want to live as a vampire, but as a human. The next day, the theater club president shows Kuhei the confetti he added after Erika gave them the idea. While sitting at the cafeteria, Kuhei mistakes Haruna for Erika, but Haruna doesn't seem to mind as his 2 brain cells must be already occupied with the cultural festival. They notice him struggling and plan to visit his room at night to help Kuhei out and also ask him to invite Erika. Later, everyone is gathered at Kuhei's room and he finally reveals that Erika won't be joining them today and not ever after. He makes an excuse about how Erika will be getting transferred and apologizes, saying that it is all his fault. However, Kanade and Haruna don't believe him as they think that Erika cares about the school more than anything and won't disappear with the cultural festival so close. Apparently, not only the sisters but Tsukasa also don't believe Kuhei and ask him to come up with a better lie. Haruna then asks Kuhei if he is okay with Erika leaving the school. Haruna then tells Kuhei that she wouldn't be as she doesn't like seeing him sad or not being able to see Erika. Kanade then asks him to just bring her back and Tsukasa also wants Kuhei to be a man and be responsible. This gives him courage and he promises to bring her back. With that being said, he runs to the student council office and runs into Iori and Seikairu, who offer to escort him there. Elsewhere, Erika is still struggling in her cell when Kiriha arrives, telling Erika that her mother wants to see her. At the same time, Kuhei arrives at Kaya's house and she is already aware of his arrival. Kaya asks him to come closer and Kuhei sits right in front of her, mentioning that he wants to talk regarding Erika. She thinks that he wants to become her dependent, but Kuhei refuses and reveals that he is there to take Erika back with him. He further mentions that Erika wants to live as a human and for that, her going to school is important. This makes Kaya furious and she throws Kuhei away. She then starts choking Kuhei, telling him that vampires need dependent to survive and they are essential, but Kuhei keeps on arguing about how Erika is different. Seikairu realizes that Iori already knew this might happen, making Kaya anxious, but he assures her that his position is neutral. However, Iori doesn't want to know how his little sister finds her new path in life. Kaya then starts choking him harder, but Erika arrives and asks her to stop. Kaya orders Erika to make Kuhei her dependent in front of everyone, but she refuses, making Kaya threaten to eliminate Kuhei. Erika then starts asking Kuhei to go home, but he tells her that he needs to take her back as well. He then asks if something changed after leaving school, and if her condition is better, causing Erika to stay silent. Kuhei then asks her to return if the suffering is the same, but Erika argues that she can't control herself. Surprisingly, Kuhei allows her to drink his blood as he wants to ease her suffering as well. However, Kaya mentions that if Erika takes a sip, then he wouldn't have any choice left but to become her dependent, and Kuhei agrees to become one. With that being said, Kuhei lends his hand and Erika grabs it while Seikairu asks Iori if that's what he was hoping for from Kuhei. But even Iori is not sure and comments on how their relationship is still developing. Kaya also didn't seem to mind it much and asked Kiriha to keep an eye on them and report back any changes. Kiriha then asks who she is in Kaya's eyes, but she refuses to answer the question. Meanwhile, Kuhei eventually returns back to school with Erika and the cultural festival begins. This was all about Kuhei and his vampire friends. For how long do you think these two can remain together without forming a dependent contact? Comment vampires below and let us know if you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video.